Hey everybody, Sean Hansel here with Get Lean in 12, and inside this short fat loss video, I'm going to talk about why small frequent meals do not increase your metabolism or your fat loss. This is one of the biggest myths in the health and fitness industry, and I was guilty of falling for it myself for years. In fact, way back in 1998 when I first entered this industry, I was fortunate enough to be first runner-up grand champion in the world's largest body transformation contest called Body for Life. And I did this in 90 days, eating 6 to 7 small meals per day. And what ended up happening is during that period, with high intensity exercise combined with a clean diet and 6-7 small meals a day, I lost over 20 pounds of belly fat, took my body fat from right around 19% all the way down to below 5%, and I had six-pack abs for the first time in my life. So, eating small frequent meals when you're making the right choices and you're younger, I was only 28 years old when this happened, can and does work. So if you enjoy eating small frequent meals and it makes you feel okay, you like it, then more power to you. If it's not broke, don't fix it. However, it's simply not necessary. The research shows that eating small frequent meals does not elevate your metabolism. In fact, it could potentially block fat loss because when you're eating every couple hours, you never give insulin a chance to stabilize, because every time you consume food, your body raises insulin levels, and when insulin is elevated, you can't burn belly fat. Well, if you're not waiting 3 or 4 hours between meals, at least, maybe even longer, then what ends up happening is insulin is chronically elevated throughout the day because you're constantly feeding yourself these small amounts, these small pulses of food. So insulin is always elevated. So it could potentially just block the fat loss process. And that's why methods like intermittent fasting have become so popular, and why I want to talk to you about a better way. So if you eat small frequent meals and you think it's a pain in the butt like I do, now that I'm 45 years old, my hormones and my metabolism have also changed. So eating 5 or 6 or 7 small meals per day just doesn't work like it used to, and it's cumbersome. So intermittent fasting is a better way, but it's not for everybody. I want to talk about the 3 most popular methods, and I recommend that you give it a try. So before we talk about the 3 methods, let's talk about the impact that fasting has on your hormones. So remember, when you go a set period of time without eating, and I'm going to recommend that you do this for a period of 14 to 24 hours, done a couple different ways, what ends up happening is growth hormone levels skyrocket during the fast. Insulin is very, very low. Remember, this is what helps us burn belly fat. When insulin levels are stable, that means glucagon levels are high. Glucagon is responsible for releasing energy from our tissues so that we can burn it off as fuel. If you're not eating, your body's going to want to burn off that fuel while you're fasting. And then lastly, research shows that fasting can even increase your metabolic rate. They did a study on a bunch of men that fasted for a couple days straight, and their metabolism was actually elevated 14%. So that right there goes to show you that small frequent meals do not elevate your metabolism or help you burn more belly fat. Now there's 3 popular methods. The first one is called the feast and fast method. So this is done after a cheat day or once or twice a week for 24 hours. So you will simply fast and drink nothing but water, tea, and coffee with no calories for 24 hours. It works best after a cheat day because during the cheat day, you spike all the critical fat burning hormones necessary to keep your metabolism healthy. So it primes your hormones to burn an insane amount of fat when you fast. So if you have a cheat day on Sunday and you fast for 24 hours on Monday, you'll potentially see your belly shrink down an inch or 2 as long as you drink a lot of fluid. Now I recommend that you don't do this more than once or twice a week, and it's not easy. I'm not a fan of the 24-hour fast. I'm more of a fan of number 3 that I'll talk about here in a second. The second method that's become very popular, oh, by the way, Eat Stop Eat was written by my buddy Brad Pilon, and he actually came up with the feast fast method. He came up with the 24-hour fast, and he did this over 10 years ago. And the science behind it is ridiculous. He's actually come up with like 3 or 4 editions of the scientific references that back up this 24-hour fast. Again, it's not for everybody, but it does work. The second method is called the 5-2 method, and I really don't know who invented this. I just know it's become very trendy lately. And it's basically eating a low-calorie diet that mimics intermittent fasting. And I think that the warrior diet's a lot like this, where you eat very, very low calories during the day, and you keep your calories around 800 to 1,000 per day, Monday through Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday you eat whatever you want. You're not going to binge and go crazy, but you can consider that like your free days. And this method has been shown to work very well, and the research shows that people who follow this pattern lose weight. Now, my favorite method of intermittent fasting is number 3, which is called the 16-8, or what I call the Siesta Key Beach Diet. So this was originally invented by a guy named Martin Berkham. He kind of disappeared off the planet. But at least want to give him credit, even though, it's been around for years now and I've actually refined it. I don't feel the need to wake up every day and give Newton credit for gravity, but I did want to mention his name because he did originally come up with the 16-8. All it is fasting for 16 hours and feeding for 8 hours. Now, if you're a female, I recommend that you close down this window a little bit because your hormones are different than men. And you fast for 14 hours and then you feed for 10 hours. So an example of this would be like you eat your last meal at 8 p.m. You go to bed at 10 or 11. You wake up the next day and you wouldn't eat your next meal until noon if you're a man, and you wouldn't eat your next meal until 10 a.m. if you're a female. Now, by doing this, what ends up happening is you get all these benefits during the fast, and then you get to enjoy larger meals during your feeding window. So when you break your fast, you'll be able to enjoy larger meals and more carbohydrates without fat storage. Now, I actually put this to the test. 2 years ago, my wife and I started spending our winters down in Florida because we run an internet business and we're fortunate enough to be able to do that. When we first rented the house that we were in, we walked to the beach, which is probably about a 4-minute walk. And I saw a tiki bar, I saw a homemade ice cream shop, I saw a pizza joint, I saw a seafood place, the liquor store. And right then I knew I was in trouble because we had all these friends and family coming down to visit us, and I knew I had to come up with a method to stay lean. Otherwise, I was going to gain fat because of everything that we were surrounded by. I mean, it all comes down to your environment. We were in an environment where I knew I was going to be drinking more than I should, I was going to be eating more sweets than I should, and I was going to be eating more bad food than I should because of all our guests coming into town, because we're constantly eating out. So I implemented the 16-8, 5 days of the week, Monday through Friday, the entire time we were down there for 3 months, and I kept my abs the entire time while indulging in chocolate and wine and many times desserts on many occasions, almost every single day. So this method can and does work, and it also makes dieting less confusing and less cumbersome. And somewhere around this video, you'll see a link to click or tap where you can learn about the 16-8 Siesta Key Beach Diet. This is a proven blueprint where I lay out exactly how to do this in conjunction with a carb cycling diet and exercise, and it's really designed more for people who are over 35 years old. So if you're in your 40s, 50s, or 60s, this particular method is designed to help you reactivate your declining hormones and coax and trick your body into burning more belly fat. So somewhere around this video, you'll see a link to click or tap where you can get access to that. Thanks for watching this. Make sure that if you got something out of this, that you like it and you share it, and keep going strong.